Hey there, Poke fans. Welcome to Let's Play Games West Virginia. I'm Kevin.
I'm Heather.
And this is PokéMonday. Let's Play Games West Virginia is a group of West Virginia-based streamers. We've got something interesting going on every night of the week. And Monday nights, as most Monday nights, is PokéMonday. So we go through the week in Pokemon. We look at events that have happened, new news, and we are also counting down the Time to Go Fest, which I think we are at
17 days.
17 days.
17 days.
About 408 hours. We're ready for it.
Do you have the hours countdown?
What? No, that would be ridiculous.
No, really. Do you have the hours countdown?
Welcome to PokéMonday.
Yeah, he's trying to divert. Welcome to PokéMonday. This one's got time allocated for how many hours it is until we go to Go Fest.
Indeed.
I feel like I look like a ghost. Should I turn on this light?
No, that's fine. You're just pale.
I know I'm pale. That's why I was going to turn on the warm light.
These are daylight balanced. We have some new lights here at PokéMonday.
We're trying a new thing.
Yeah, so we're seeing how that works.
We're both really pasty.
Eventually we'll address that back wall. But right now, we're just playing with some new lights. So one of the fun things that happened this week, we got a new member to the crew.
Oh?
Indeed.
Oh, right. I was traveling during the week, and this happened.
And this happened, which is...
There's a lot of light there.
Yeah, working on it. A giant Funko Pop Bulbasaur. So these guys are like, I don't know, at least 8-10 inches tall.
But do not be confused. The normal Funko Pop, right, as you can see over here, is usually tiny. Probably the size of your face. This is gigantic.
It is larger than your head.
I don't think we realized how gigantic of a Bulbasaur we purchased. It was a Target exclusive, right?
Yeah, these are Target exclusives. They may be difficult to find. They think they sold out pretty quickly for most folks.
Mm-hmm. It was as part of the Detective Pikachu event that is happening. Target is sponsoring part of that. So one of our good friends was able to secure one of those, and we made the thing happen.
Yep. So check your local Targets near you. Some of them have already hit eBay, but there's been quite a free market price increase there, like almost doubling the cost, if not more. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, because who doesn't need a giant Bulbasaur?
So the other parts of that Target event, that goes until the middle of June, right?
Supposedly, yes. So if you are familiar with the Pokemon app, it is called Pokemon Pass, not to be confused with LastPass to save all your passwords. It is part of the Pokemon Pass application on your phone, in which case you can download the app, register through a Pokemon name, and get some stickers for your enjoyment, including a Psyduck sticker and a Mr. Mime sticker. And additionally, you can get your very own Shiny Pikachu or Shiny Eevee for your Nintendo Switch Pokemon Let's Go game. Now with that, you do not get to choose, unfortunately, so this has been out for some time, so if you know about it, just disregard what I'm saying. But if this is news for you, the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee game, you will then get a Shiny Pikachu. If you got the let me restart. If you got the Eevee game, you get a Shiny Pikachu. If you got the regular Pikachu game, you get a Shiny Eevee. And so the way that shows up in your game is as a mystery box, which before this point we didn't really have any way to use those mystery boxes. It was sort of a mystery as to how those are relevant. Now we see.
So that's pretty cool. So you can head to Target. There's an installation often in the toy aisle. You can scan the QR code with the app, and then you get a code for that download. Mm-hmm. One of the things I wanted to interject, it just happened here. There's been a recurring error that I've seen for the last week and a half, which is after my first Pokemon is defeated, it says all of your Pokemon have fainted, where there's still time left on the timer. I've only gone through 1 instead of 5 Pokemon.
Ooh, Shiny Absol. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a battle, though. It's not one I can win.
I know.
But it's been showing all your Pokemon have fainted, and then you just have to re-enter the battle. So I'm not sure what's quite going on there. In this gym, we should have defeated after 2 runs through, but it took like 4 or 5 because we kept having this error. So I'm not sure if you guys are seeing the same error, but if you're having this weird, all your Pokemon have fainted when that's clearly not the case, let us know in the chat.
Or there's some other bugs. One of my favorite bugs is the aerial gym view. If you will notice as you go to battle a Pokemon, it will shine down upon the Pokemon as if you are flying high in the sky looking down upon the Pokemon in the gym. So that's kind of neat. It's a weird glitch, but we're seeing several weird glitches this latest update. So stay tuned for those and let us know what you see.
I still haven't had the giant floating baby head one.
Oh, that's real creepy.
Terrifying. Probably the most well-known of the glitches.
I think they took care of that one, but I always cackle when I see the giant baby head show up on the Pokemon map because it's real creepy in a sort of Teletubbies kind of way. You know what I mean?
It also has the Rick and Morty, like, show us what you've got kind of look to it.
Well, so that's the thing. I don't know if the Niantic conveners are fans of Rick and Morty, but in the announcement for the legendary raid bosses, the raid battles, the very last line says, "Show us what you've got." And that makes me think, it just hit me today, it just makes me think about Rick and Morty. So I don't know if they're fans, but I kind of hope so, because that episode was glorious. They were getting swifty.
So I'm just stashing my shiny Gyarados in a gym like I do. I wonder how many battles that dude's been in. It's probably been a bunch.
Just building up your Stardust there also.
Yep.
So if you have been out of the game for a while, or if you've forgotten about these things, remember to bury the Pokemon, as in give them berries. So that, not bury in the awkward death kind of way, but give them berries because you get Stardust for that. And we've had several events where there are lots of Stardust perks, so do that.
Can you not check and see how many battles you fought for a given Pokemon?
No, that's from the gym screen.
Bummer.
Ooh, Jason says he had a weird glitch where his Pokemon turned into a Charmander. I heard about that with, I believe it was a Flareon and a Psyduck. I've heard of that.
So when there's special event Pokemon spawns, the app is efficient, and it reuses regular spawns. So it's supposed to be in the exact same space where there would normally be a spawn, and they replace it with the event Pokemon. But sometimes it gets wonky. So probably what happened is you saw one, and then it switched to the other. But that's a pretty common error that you see.
Yeah, it's still a weird one. Don't get me wrong.
Excuse me. Sorry.
What other weird glitches have we seen recently?
There was the egg hatching glitch for Torchic Day.
Where,
the egg would like meld with a Torchic. We saw a couple of those last week when you were otherwise occupied.
Yes, I was out traveling, so I will have Pokemans to trade for distance. Which, I mean, granted, it won't be a whole lot of distance, but it will be something for the continental U.S. players. So that's kind of fun.
But yeah, I had that happen 2 or 3 times during the Torchic Community Day, so that was footage that we saw last week.
So what else is going on, Kevin, other than weird glitches?
Yeah. Well, we talked a little bit last week about some of the new Pokemon.
Oh, yeah?
Were you able to get many of those this week?
I was.
Have you finished the 3 Burmese? I only have 2 of them. I have the green one and the pink one.
I have 2 of the Burmese, so I don't have enough candies yet to evolve it. The male form is what turns into... Oh no, I just lost his name. The male form of those Burmese turns into the moth-like Pokemon, and then the females turn into one other kind of select. They retain their cloaks though, so they retain either their trash cloak, which is the pink one, or their leaf cloak, I think it's like the grass or tree or whatever, the one that looks like leaves. She retains that one, and then the sandy cloak, it looks like her coat turns more into rocks. But that one is available, and I don't have either of the evolve form yet, but I do have Burmy as my buddy so that I can rack up some candies, because Burmy is only a 1 kilometer walking buddy, so that will help you to accumulate those candies rather quickly, as opposed to a legendary, which is sometimes 20 kilometers for a candy.
I'm still walking Shieldon, who's a 5 kilometer buddy. Only because I haven't seen many of them, and
Yeah. So you still don't have your next Dawn guy. Your Shieldon evolution.
The kind of castle rook looking guy.
Yeah.
No, not yet. So I'm saving up for that one. I'm also I don't have Cranidos' evolution.
Rampardos.
So that's the next one, and then I'll probably throw Burmy in there and some of the new ones.
Yeah. Now, I sort of wavered back and forth about which one I should use as my buddy, but I don't currently have a Gibble, which is one of the new Pokemon released. So I have not seen that or hatched it, which means then that I can't make it my buddy because I don't have one to do that. But that will be an effective Pokemon for battles and PvP. So if you do have the Gibble, it is worth it to walk your buddy so you can get your Garchomp. Some of the other Pokemon that I have found are Cherrim, both the sunny and the shady variety, but no Cherubi, which supposedly they are in the eggs. So you can hatch a Cherubi, however you want to pronounce it. I have not yet seen that one. I have seen a few Shellos, but not enough for a Gastrodon. I have also gotten a Leafeon, Glaceon, what else is out? Magnezone, Probopass, but no Hippopotas.
I got one of those last week, but it was the male and the female forms look different, and I only have one of them.
I don't have either of those.
I was finally able to hatch a Gligar, which kicked me up with a Sinnoh Stone that I got from a 7-day research task.
Cool.
Finally, so I was finally able to check that evolution out of my Pokedex as well.
Nice. Scientist says you can get Cherubi from the mossy lures. So if you are not familiar with the new lure system, those lures will allow you to have new spawns that are aligned with that particular type. So with the magnetic lure, you may see more electric type Pokemon spawning in your direct vicinity in addition to the regular spawns of a normal lure. So that is a great option unless you are tight on coins, in which case you sort of have to hope for the best or find a friend who's willing to sink the coin to get that special lure. But thanks for that, Scientist. It is a rare spawn, but it is a spawn nonetheless, which sometimes is much easier than hatching it because as we've seen with things like Riolu, hatching rare Pokemon is sometimes a cumbersome task. You may get 12 Trapinch and 0 Riolu. That may happen. Now, I believe Trapinch has been removed from the egg pool. Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. But that's for illustration's sake.
There were many of them, and they were often.
Right. And now I have seen many Larvitar in 10K eggs. So
yeah, I'm surprised how many of those I've seen. I already have a couple Tyrannitars, and I have a couple of Larvitars with high IVs.
Yeah.
So I haven't really been keeping many of those. They've just been headed straight to the wood chipper.
Yeah. So it looks like here you're doing a Bronzor raid.
Yeah, I was looking out for that green bottle cap guy, but thus far no luck. So last week, middle of last week, a new shiny was released for Bronzor and Bronzong. This is part of the week-long raid event, and supposedly that's possible, but
you can get a green Dalek for yourself.
But has not happened for us thus far.
No, we did. No. We did do a handful of Bronzor raids today, hoping to get those in before the end of that event.
That footage is here.
What?
That footage is here too.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize that was part of this week's. So that event does end tomorrow. So if you are still looking for your shiny medallion, your shiny coin, your shiny whatever, if you would like a green Bronzor, in other words, make sure you go out and do some of those raids. It seems to be that those chances are fairly high for a typical shiny rate. However, I've still not seen one, and we weren't able to make it out during the Lapras raid weekend, raid day, so we did not get to do those things.
I know at least 2 people in town who have gotten the shiny Bronzors, so it's out there and it's happening. It just wasn't us.
It is, and here we are. We're trying to get a shiny Scyther also. So a lot of the Pokemon that are out in raids this week have potential shiny variants. So it has been a really great week to decide to do raids. Also because of the extra Stardust and XP that you could get from raiding. So I hope that you all have been taking advantage of the star pieces and the lucky eggs in your grind for millions and millions of Stardust.
So if you recall, I hit level 36 sometime in November, I think, and I hit 37 about a month and a half ago. I'm almost halfway to level 38 already through judicious use, or I guess liberal use, of lucky eggs for extra experience, especially coupled with events like this. So I've just been trying to rake in the raid XP. And because I was thinking about it, I was looking at how much I needed, and I was like, man, that's 150 tier 5 raids with an egg.
Yeah.
And that was the distance between 37 and 38. But I haven't done anywhere near that amount, but I'm halfway through that goal pretty much. Yeah. So as you can see, even though that should have been a doubling of the time it took, it's been less than a quarter of it. Or half, sorry.
For Stardust, that has been extremely beneficial too. After one good afternoon of doing some raids and using star pieces, I was able to accumulate roughly about 50,000 Stardust units, whatever those are. So if you are using your Stardust for things like PvP battling or for Sylph League presence and powering up your Pokemon, or if you are trading a ton, you know that Stardust is really important. So save all of that up if you can, or if you like to do trades. That's kind of an important piece there. Yeah.
So recently we traded a shiny this week also, and it was 40,000 Stardust.
Even though we're BFFs.
Yeah, but we were able to recoup that with a single raid. Because of using a star piece and the raid bonus increase. So definitely to kind of exemplify how lucrative that can be.
Yeah, for sure. And I see you did not get the shiny Scyther.
Nope, I did not.
I didn't either.
I have not had too many shinies in raids. That's a little bit of a foil for something that happens later in the episode, because most of our footage from today is in today's video.
Okay.
So obviously neither of us had to work today, so we were able to do some Pokemoning, and that footage made it in. Typically any Monday footage ends up in the next week, but you'll see that here in this video.
So one of the things with the raid bosses that we have been talking about is the shiny opportunities. So as many of you all know, for the special raid week, those opportunities and your raid bosses have changed. So of the bosses that are available right now, or at least this week until tomorrow, the shiny options then are Machop, Shinx, and Bronzor for level 1. For level 2, you could see Misdreavus, Mawile, Phoebus, Clamperl. For level 3, you could see shiny Alolan Raichu, shiny Scyther, shiny Aerodactyl. For level 4, you could see shiny Alolan Marowak, shiny Dragonite. Although it's unclear about the Dragonite, because some have said that most of the shinies are in the base form, so it's unclear how exactly that happens. But Dragonite, Tyranitar is also a possibility for being shiny, but usually that's Larvitar. Absol could be shiny, and of course Beldum, so who knows about Metagross. But yeah, lots of shinies.
And one of the things that's excellent about that is they're distributed across the tiers. So many of those are soloable or with a duo. So you can definitely, this past week and until tomorrow, really grind through there and up your chances. The chances for some of those that I've seen being reported on the Sylph Road subreddit was down into like the 1 in 135. That was for Bronzor, which is, up from like 1 in 470, which is kind of standard. So 1 in 135 sounds like it's a lot. Like, you have to, it's less than 1% chance to get it, but that's still a massive increase from what it is. Oh, yeah. And that's from all of the different raid activities. So there's a Trainer Tips Nick video that talks about that particular issue with Bronzor. So if you haven't checked that out, hop over to the YouTubes once we're done here and check that out, because it's really interesting, because it looks at raid activity, hatch activity, and all of those numbers. So the Sylph research team is in charge of all of that. And that's super, super interesting. But it pragmatically, it seems like it's more than that.
One other opportunity for a shiny encounter is through the field research tasks. So if you are paying attention, several of the research tasks are focused on raid battles this week. So if you complete a raid battle, you have the opportunity for a bronzor as your research task, which can be shiny. If you do the 3 raids, you could potentially find an Absol, which could be shiny and red and super cute. So I hope that you all have been taking advantage of those opportunities for shinies as well.
But as you can see here, like this tier raid with 2 people of reasonably high level is heckin' fast.
Yeah. Is that the one where I got kicked out?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
This was earlier.
Gotcha. You could get yourself a shiny green Ninja Turtle.
One of the other benefits of using these lower tier raids is you can kind of farm golden raspberries. So if you're looking at tier 1 and 2, you really don't need a golden raspberry to catch those generally. A regular raspberry or even a pineapple berry can be used with your Premier Ball. So if you want to, that's a good way to save those up for special events or for use in tier 5 raids. Because if you're only getting them from tier 5 raids, you're going to run out. It's almost guaranteed. So if you're not catching it, you might go through as many as 16 to 18 golden raspberries if you throw one for every single throw at a tier 5 raid and don't get it.
Yeah.
So that will cut into your supply significantly and fast.
Yup. I'm pretty much hand to mouth when it comes to golden raspberry. But luckily on Discord, if you're part of a Discord group, server, you can select items that you can want. So I have wanted golden raspberries through field research tasks, just in case those pop up. So that's also an option in case you've not done that.
So I've been hoarding items, looking forward to GoFest so far. So as far as berries and Pokeballs go, so I've been dropping Pokeballs pretty regularly because I'm really worried about the Ultra Balls and the Great Balls. I'm still rolling with 488 Pokeballs, 266 Great Balls, 112 Ultra Balls, 167 Raspberries, 102 Nanap, 181 Pineapple, 34 Golden Raz, a huge drop off there, and 10 Silver Pineapples. So I'm trying to keep track of those since we're getting pretty close to it and save enough that we can make good use of our time there. Because it would be such a bummer to I've had that where I've like popped an incense or something and I haven't been playing a lot because it works conversely. If you're not playing a lot, your items seem to drop off precipitously because you're not acquiring them. So if I haven't been playing a whole lot and then I pop an incense or do something else and I just don't have enough to catch the thing. So I've been trying to avoid that problem. This was a medal you earned. It was a medal I earned. So one of my friends, as you can see here, I traded a Chatot for another legendary Pokemon, an extra Latias that I had available. I decided to trade to try and do IV checks. So I was willing to acquire a regional Pokemon that I have otherwise not ever had access to. So because that is a regional exclusive, there's not really a way for me to get that other than trade or take my happy butt on over to Brazil kind of areas. So that's what I'm looking forward to, especially for GoFest, is the ability to get regionals out of region, because that's often a thing, or has been in the past. So that's one of the things I have my out for. Hopefully they'll be pretty prevalent.
Yes.
My plan is to bring as many Pokemon back from GoFest for our local players here in Morgantown as possible.
According to the image that has been posted for Chicago GoFest, as we talked about before, I believe it is Pachirisu, however you say that, the cute little white squirrel. Supposedly that is going to be there if we can trust the image that Pokemon Go has released. So I hope to see that one there.
Less Sticky Icky asks about Mewtwo. So Mewtwo was an X-Raid and then a Tier 5 raid boss several months ago. I don't think there's actually a current method for acquiring that if you're only playing now. Your best bet is going to be as a trade. You're probably more likely to be able to trade for the second introduction of Mewtwo's rather than the first ones with legacy moves. Those
are steep cost trades.
So they're going to be crazy expensive. Or are those mythical? Can you even trade mythical Pokemon?
Yeah, you can trade Mewtwo.
Okay. So hop on your Discord, let people know that that's what you're looking for. Maybe save up for some shinies or something, some regional exclusive.
And save your Stardust.
It's going to be expensive. So if you find someone to trade for you, your best bet will be to exchange gifts every day, do friend activities, and try to get that cost down. But it's still going to be real pricey.
Because it'll be a new Pokedex entry for you.
But as of right now, there's no way to get Mewtwo.
Yeah, the only way to acquire Mewtwo is through trade currently. So for a while they had released it back into raids, but that has since gone. And right now we are on the very tail end of Azelf being in raids. So be sure to get in Azelf if you can, and then actually starting, what's today? Tomorrow, we will see, what's the number of today? Is today the 26th or 27th? Oh, so the 27th, that would be today. Cresselia comes back into raids, in which there will be a shiny opportunity for you. So with this new, I don't know, what did they call it? The some kind of raid rerun or
legendary raid return.
So that, whatever that's called, is another event where we get former raid bosses that are coming back. So Cresselia is coming back if you didn't get one the first time around. And there's a shiny avocado. So if you need a shiny Cresselia, a shiny avocado, which I don't know who doesn't, but if you need a shiny avocado, now is your chance. I believe that is until June, I want to say 10th. I have that 18th, sorry. Until June 18th, in which it will then turn to Kyogre, which can also be shiny. It's like a bright blurple whale. So you can do that from the 18th of June to the 27th. And then after that, you can get a Groudon if you didn't get it during the Earth Day event or the Renew event or the first time around. You can get a Groudon, and this time you can still get a shiny. So if you need a green Groudon, you have a chance.
So welcome to the channel, Zorba. Thanks for tuning in. In response to your question, Sticky, I have 2 Mewtwo's currently still. I had another one that I traded to someone who missed the events. So I have one Legacy Mewtwo that has Shadow Ball, and then I have one new one from the X-Raid period, which has Psycho Cut and Thunderbolt. But yeah, so that was kind of a limited time deal. I certainly would imagine they'll rotate back in, only because almost everything that has been a one-time period has rotated back in. So there will definitely be an opportunity for that in the future.
Well, so here's the thing.
Thank you, Future Aiden for hosting us. There's a slight notification at the top of the screen, and you will definitely appear in the credits at the end of the episode.
Thanks for joining us. So with the Pokemon return of legendaries, right, Mewtwo's first occurrence in the game was as an X-Raid. That was our very first X-Raid boss. And then after that, he did return for a little while in the level 5 raids. So it has returned once, and if history is any inclination, it will probably return again. But it's hard to tell when that may be or for how long that might be. So stay tuned on that one. Your guess is as good as ours.
So the X-Raids are effectively invite only, but you can do things to secure that invite. So if you hit the X-Raid eligible gyms in your local area, if you're a very rural player, that may be more difficult, but if you're playing in a reasonably sized town, then you should be able to do that. There'll be a little badge at the top of the gym to know whether it's X-Raid eligible. Those will be tier 5 raids. You can spin the stops, you can do battles and raids there, and that will all increase your chances of getting the invite. And the added benefit is if someone of great friend or best or ultra friend.
Sorry, I was paying attention to Katie. Hi, Katie. What were you saying?
You can invite a friend of a certain tier,
ultra,
an ultra friend or higher, to that X-Raid. So even if you don't get one, if someone in your area is willing to shop you off an invite, that will certainly help out.
So, what else is going on, Kevin?
Well, one of the things that I'm kind of excited about, so we're getting ready to go to GoFest, as we have only mentioned once about every 7 minutes of the stream.
Yeah, right. What was that, 17 days or something?
But I was worried that I wouldn't be able to adequately document there's a lot of weird restrictions for cameras to go into GoFest. It has to be consumer grade stuff, no pro audio equipment, no audio equipment at all, no pro video equipment. So I think I acquired a camera that fits the bill. I'm into film photography, and
prepare yourself.
I do some
this is ridiculous.
developing at home. So I was scouring eBay for a camera that would fit, and I acquired this.
Look at this.
So this is
how adorable.
Circa 1998 Pikachu Tiger branded 35mm camera.
It's not just Pikachu though. Show them that shutter.
Sure. The shutter release is actually Diglett.
Yeah, Diglett.
Yeah. So it's a point and shoot camera. And what I also decided was, or discovered was kind of fun, is inside of this, where the film frame is here in the center. There's this weird plastic piece. And I'm thinking like, man, that's really weird. I have no idea why that's there. So I shined my cell phone in there to see if maybe it was removable. Like maybe you could change the aspect ratio. But it turns out it actually has a frame that has a Pikachu, a Squirtle, a Meowth, and something else that was too hard to see inside a feature frame. So I went ahead and shot a test roll yesterday. I'm going to develop that this week to make sure everything works properly. But if so, we are definitely taking this ridiculous 35mm camera.
It's even got a Pikachu butt on the back. Look how ridiculous that is.
To Chicago. So that should be lots of fun.
Yeah, I love it. It is so bad. It's so good. I vaguely remember having one of these when I was like 9, when all of Pokemon stuff came out. Although, to be fair, I was much younger than that. I was like 7. So I vaguely remember all of this coming out, and now I'm super excited that it's all coming back on eBay.
But yeah, this was Katie's doing, who helped us out with the giant Bulbasaur. So thanks to Katie for
Thanks, LPGWV, Katie. Out. Do you crank the tail to cycle the film, Kevin?
No, that would be bummer. The film advance is just this tiny wheel on the back here on the opposite side. It's a super simple point-and-shoot camera. Everything is fixed. There's no aperture adjustment or shutter speed adjustment. It just is what it is. I had to find a third-party website that suggested which ISO film to use because even like the documentation that came with it that I could find for PDFs, like just ignored that as if it were not an important piece of information. So
this has been the internet learns about cameras, especially Pokemon cameras, with Kevin.
But anyway, hopefully we'll take some fun 35mm pictures. If we run into any Pokemon YouTubers, I think that would be super cool, and I'll get those developed, and then we can see how it goes.
We could show them on the stream, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely? Okay, cool. So, what else are we doing, Kevin? What else is going on?
I think I've hatched fewer eggs this past week because I'm kind of trying to build up a reservoir of incubators in case there's increased egg distance for GoFest. I should have enough by now. I haven't had a whole lot of interesting things happening from eggs lately. I've been trying to balance the 7K eggs I get from gifts with the 2, 5, and 10K that I get from spinning stops.
Yeah.
So definitely going to have to figure that out. I keep accidentally dropping 7K eggs into regular incubators, which hurts my soul.
Whoops.
And yeah.
Yeah.
I had a giant pile of them from boxes and from special events, and I just keep missing.
So have you had any, I have not done enough research yet to make some qualifying statements, but I'm curious, because there were some egg switches, have you noticed anything different about the 7K egg hatches?
No, I'm still getting most of the babies and a few other things.
Okay.
But I haven't noticed any huge differences.
Well, they had talked about changing the egg pools, and they have even added in some of the new Gen 4 stuff. So I was curious what's going on there.
So it looks like there's a shiny trade afoot here.
There is a shiny trade afoot. I happened to catch a second shiny Caterpie. So I caught my second shiny Caterpie this week. Not that I caught both of them this week, but this is my second shiny Caterpie. And this one here decided that he did not like his shiny Butterfree that he evolved it into before he found out what it looked like. So, because I already have my shiny Metapod, which is bright orange and looks super cool, I was willing to trade him the shiny Caterpie so he could do what he wills with it.
So even here, we're best friends, which is the highest friend category.
That's the marriage category. Just kidding.
It's still 40,000 Stardust,
yep.
Which is a pretty large chunk of change. What is that? Like, it's got to be 1 million if you're barely friends.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. It's real bad.
So yeah, definitely, you've got to use those star pieces. Stardust is the rarest resource in the game. Definitely have to focus that because sometimes maybe you want a shiny Caterpie.
Maybe you too need a shiny Caterpie to bother you, like Misty is bothered in the TV show. Just saying.
Jason says it's an awesome Butterfree. I just didn't dig its color palette as much as I did either the Caterpie or the Metapod, and I now check. I just at the time didn't. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a shiny Caterpie, and it was like the day it was released. And then I was like, man, I got a bunch of candies, and I just evolved him up. And then I should have checked, but I didn't.
Yeah, I like all of the shiny forms of the Caterpie. I think actually maybe the Caterpie is my least favorite. I would say Metapod is my favorite because it's like burnt orange, and then Butterfree, and then Caterpie. So I was happy to trade for that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Although Kevin did think that it was my first shiny Caterpie.
Yeah,
so
I was like, yeah, are you sure you want to trade it? Like, because
I was like, yeah,
I'd forgotten
why?
that she already had one, that it was an extra.
And I'm like, yeah, what do you mean? Like, of course I want to trade it. You're my husband. Like, let's do the trade. And yeah, he was weird about it. Anyway.
So I'm still trying to get a couple of his elves on the off chance that, we find some players who need them. I want to make sure I have enough to trade.
Well, thanks for that, Tare.
Yeah, Andy, that's a bummer. I guess we'll send a rescue squad of gamers in case to dig you out of the rebel.
We'll be sure that they go while they're getting you out of that rebel.
Yeah.
Just to party hardy.
Bummer. I'm stuck on Rhythm as a Dancer now, and I don't know where to go from there.
Yeah.
I hope you make it out. Best wishes.
I don't know where to go from there. Oh.
Ooh, you could, yeah, you could, it's a slight change of genre.
Yeah. You could counter their techno with
or
some other...
like M and Armand and like really, really like step it up.
Yeah. Maybe you could dance a little too.
How many Zelf raids have you done thus far?
Well, so I know I have my game pulled up. In thinking about it, there have been at least 2 or 3 different raids that I have not caught the Azelf. As of now, the ones that I have been successful in, I'll put it that way, I have 5 Azelf. So there have probably been 3 or 4, so 8 or 9, possibly more, but I can't recall that much.
Yeah, I've got 4. I think I missed at least 1, but I've got 4.
Although I would say it has been tough being gone this week due to other work obligations, so I have not been able to raid as much as I would have liked to, due to, my day job. So otherwise I probably would have done many more raids than that.
Devin Vera, who has done cool fan art for us in the past, is in the chat. Welcome back to the stream. Always happy to see you.
It's a party!
We've been doing pretty well with the Zelf. I don't know if maybe you haven't gotten out for tier 5 raids. Let us know if you've caught any of those.
If you have an Azelf on a shelf.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that because why not, right?
It's good stuff. I really like Azelf. I think it's my favorite of some of the newer Pokemon that are released.
Of the Lake Trio, would you say?
Well, I mean, I've only seen the one like in person, other than like looking up for sprites online.
Yeah.
But just like in general, from like the last couple batches of new Pokemon, I like Azelf.
I like Azelf. It reminds me of like a mix between Mew and some other weird lake creature. So I think it's kind of cute, but I also think it's kind of like weird looking. So it's like a cute Mew derpy guy.
Hopefully we'll be able to meet some folks at GoFest who are willing to trade. I mean, obviously they could do Azelf raids while they're here. But
no, it'll be out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that didn't overlap.
I don't believe that the legendary raid return will overlap with Azelf. So I don't know how that goes.
Maybe we can trade for a special lake Pokemon.
Well, so
I still need a Relicanth, though.
Tentatively, I have a scheduled trade for one of the others. There's an Australian player that I have scheduled on Reddit to trade with. Now, I hope that happens. I'm still working up the friendship level, so I'm hoping that I can be like, here, take a Pokemon, and please give me one of the Lake Trio. But I don't know. It's not sealed in stone yet, so hopefully I can make that happen. I will keep you all posted on that.
Exciting.
Devon Vera, their favorite is Uxie. I don't know who my favorite is. I would say it's probably tied for me between Mesprit and Azelf. But all three of them are cute in their own little way. But they all have weird heads, so that kind of freaks me out. Do you think they have weird heads? I do. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're Pokemon.
It's also they're gonna hit a point where like designing weird animal creatures has got to be a stretch.
That's true.
Like, I think maybe we've already hit that point for some of them.
Yeah, that might be true. I mean, I kind of think they hit the cap there with Probopass, but I know some people are really a fan of the mustache. One of our friends in our rating group is like a super fan, so I don't know, man. Probopass is not on my list. So here are, yeah, Andy, the next gen with the Rotoms, as they will call them, which if you spell it backwards is motor, obviously. We've got some appliances, so it kind of seems like they might be running out of fresh content there, but I don't know.
Mon, I choose you.
Vacuummon, you're in. Vacuum them all. Gotta vacuum all. Pokemon. So I think that might be all of our content this week in terms of what's news, right?
That's probably the most things for news. We were still grinding through a lot of these raids this week in an attempt to get shinies.
Yeah.
But that didn't really happen. I was able to get one shiny from the raid, which is later on in the video. But that was a Clamperl. So Clamperl is also in some of those raids.
Clamperl!
But I don't have enough candies to evolve it. So.
Did you name it Pearl Jam?
I did not, but I should have.
You should have. I just thought of that.
That's a good
Now
name.
it's real cute. Because it's like purpley and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So Sword and Shield are the
yes.
next main narrative Pokemon games to come out.
Right, with Switch, Nintendo Switch.
So that will definitely be some exciting play.
Yes, so that is a totally new game. I'm curious to see how they are going to develop that. There has been some press and some energy around different sorts of teams, like maybe athletic kinds of teams. Now, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I'm definitely curious to see what's happening there. And we're definitely going to pick it up. So maybe we could stream that.
Probably. Yeah, definitely could. One of the things that was getting some buzz is one of their promotional ads featured an armored Mewtwo, which was a throwback to, I guess, in the first movie.
Yeah, the very first movie.
But the armor does not assist Mewtwo in that case. It restrains his power. It was one of the things that controls them.
Right, when he was like chained up and like kept under captivity, like it's a trend. Pokemon Detective looking at you.
But it certainly looks cool with the Pokemon Sword and Shield stuff. But if you weren't hanging around from like the OG Pokemon time, maybe you thought it was going to be like a Mecha Mewtwo, but it was not the case.
Which would be cool, like a Mega Evolution, right? I mean, I know we have those with like Metagross and stuff, but wouldn't that be really cool to have a Mewtwo meta?
It's already the most powerful creature in that universe, so
I know, but then it's like even more like godlike Mewtwo. I think it would be heckin' cool.
It might be cool, but it would run into the Superman problem. Like Superman is interesting when he's harmed or restrained. Like the fact that you have this crazy character that nothing can ever beat is actually an uninteresting story. Mewtwo needs that armor and it needs that damage.
Maybe Mewtwo needs some character development.
Yeah, but that happens when he's hanging out.
When he's not like a super badass.
Yeah.
Oh.
We probably should have seen Detective Pikachu twice.
Yeah, we probably should have. Is it still in theaters? I hope so. I definitely think so, probably.
We enjoyed it. If it's still in theaters, we'll probably go see it again.
Yeah, we should definitely go see Detective Pikachu again. Because there were a lot of Pokemon featured in that, and definitely things that are not out in Pokemon Go right now. So You have some new generations mixed in with the old gens 1 through 4, in addition to Beyond.
Mewtwo does have some thighs that save lives.
Yeah.
Definitely true.
Mewtwo lives saved by, thighs. Yeah, I think that's all of our content for this evening. We've talked and talked and talked, and we still have footage, but mostly it's all of our raids from today. So I don't know how relevant that is. We didn't see your Clam Pearl, but you can name it Pearl Jam, and we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. 17 more days till Go Fest. Looking forward to bringing you as much video as my storage space can hold for when we come back.
Right. I feel like I need a whole external phone storage thing.
There are unknowns in our future. We'll see.
Oh my gosh, unknowns, Pachirisu, Hippopotas, all of the things.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks again for hanging out with Let's Play Games West Virginia. We have something going on every night of the week. Our ticker tape schedule is hanging out at the bottom there. Feel free to tune back in, and we will see you next PokéMonday.
And maybe we'll talk more about Pikachu.
Thanks, everybody.